perceived. The moment a woman like her says, Jackie, Aina, the big scary, she blocked me, y'all. Like, I was so nice to her. She blocked me. Can you believe it? God, she blocked me. You knew that that was gonna be believable coming from you, and you posted that content anyway. You knew it would do numbers. I don't know. I just find that particular method of like handling your platform kind of cruel. And this was also the same lady who had no problem like making jokes about me and age shaming me when I was talking about the auntie discourse. Now, I know a lot of people really don't understand. Like, if you've never been adultified as a young girl or parentified really young, you're not gonna get why I have really visceral reactions to like showing up online as everybody's mom and auntie. Like, it's just not for me. I was really vulnerable when I shared the reasons why I no longer aligned with being talked to about that. I feel like it really humanized me, you know? And honestly, I don't even think I really needed to share that information. I really didn't. And this same particular creator, not only her, but another girl in the same little friend group that y'all are discussing right now, basically just made videos making fun of it. Like, I don't know, like like literally age shaming me and making fun of it. I think it's a little bit weird that there's always this layer of like everybody online is fake, no one's real anymore. But the moment I really open up and I shared something really vulnerable, and to have like a group of creators just like make fun of that, I just need to remind other adults, when you don't have a rapport with someone, the joke, like when there's no like level of community, or if you have never supported this person before, then you turn on your camera to make fun of them when they're being like really vulnerable, the joke's not gonna be funny. Like, it's just, I think as adults, we all understand like how relationships work. And if there isn't one, then you're gonna get blocked. Like, another creator that's in this group saying that I blocked her in response to her saying that my perfume bottles were ugly. And I don't know what she's talking about. Never saw that piece of content. But you told on yourself. Don't know what you're talking about. I block you for other reasons. The content creators who just come up on here and yap like serial yapper, and it's like a new flavor of the week. I feel like the quality in the content lacks when you always just want to talk about anyone and everyone all the time. And like I said, it just recently dawned on me that there's just like a clique of creators on this app that I've had negative experiences with, and they're all friends. So it's like, okay, now it makes sense. There's other creators that I've never interacted with, that I know of, that have me blocked, that are in this said clique. And I'm like, isn't that what y'all criticize me? Okay. Whenever I've seen them make videos about me specifically, they usually don't outright say negative things. They tend to do a lot of dog whistling. So what they like to do is say just enough to like get their audiences to kind of like do the shit talking for them. And their entire comment section just basically turns into an environment shitting on me. I personally don't respect that. So the question is whether or not these creators are bullies. I mean, I personally don't know. Like, I don't know what else you would call that, because some of the creators in this particular group have made several, and I mean like several different types of videos about me, and have fostered these comment sections to just basically have people go in on me. I don't know. If that's not bullying, then what is? Because I've been called much worse for doing much less, and sometimes for doing nothing at all. So, and you're probably gonna ask, okay, so why are you telling us this? Because honestly, I want to be left alone. Like, I really actually wish this to a higher standard. And
so to just give you the overview of what happened, so about the Supreme Super Five, you know, like the black known commentators, is really interesting because she actually hasn't had the best experience with them, and she specifically called out one of the content creators that looks like Taraji P. Henson, and a lot of people have said that Jamila resembles her, so obviously instantly people knew who she was talking about, and she pretended like she didn't know her name. It's Jamila, and that's pretty much the context. She said that Jamila pretty much at first made a video showing like support about Jackie Aina during the whole Blockgate situation. And Jamila in that video, she was obviously like standing Jackie Aina. You could tell that she has been a fan of Jackie Aina. She even said it. But Jackie accused her of then making a video and saying, oh, I was blocked or whatever, you know, and kind of adding fuel to the fire. And Jackie's like, but what she didn't tell y'all is that she actually had been blocked way before that. And pretty much Jackie said that this group of content creators, they dogpile and they are bullies. And she also did say something about, you know, Mecca and making ageist comments. Oh, and then Jackie also did like accuse Jamila of colorism and pretty much weaponizing the fact that she is light skinned in that case. But I can understand when you see a coalition of people who seemingly create content, you know, making fun of you, it can come across as bullying because of that imbalance of power. So let's get into what Jamila and Mecca had to say. So they decided to, instead of bringing it to TikTok, they decided to talk about it on their podcast. I watched the entire video and it was very, very in depth. It mostly was Jamila talking because she really seemed like the main target. You could tell that Mecca was kind of taking this a little bit more lighthearted than Jamila, but Jamila, she was very, very serious. She had her notes and pretty much she felt like this was an attack on her character. More so, she was talking about how she was just really disappointed because, like I said, Jackie was always someone that she looked up to. And she also felt like she had to defend, you know, some of these accusations, such as, you know, the colorism. And she also went into talking about the fact that she didn't purposely, or she doesn't need to, you know, create this narrative that, oh, I hopped on the Jackie Aina blocked me train, because she's like, listen, I have enough clout. But she's like, I don't know when you, like, how am I supposed to know when you blocked me? And that's true. You don't know when someone blocked you. So she very detailed went into, you know, this is what happened. Yes, we made these videos. And I think that she did a good job of taking ownership of, you know, I do come across very harsh. Like, you know, I curse, I use the B word. This isn't, you know, I'm a comedian. And everything's not funny to everybody. So she definitely owned that. Mecca, she also, you know, owned the way that she comes across, and, you know, she wasn't meaning to be ageist. And she also said, you know,
Jackie Aina said being pro-black has never been profitable. People keep trying to figure out if Patrick Ta is the problem. Why is everybody mad at Jackie Aina? It's 2026. When you have a platform, you don't get to act obtuse about your political proximity. And Patrick is a Zionist that parties with IOF soldiers. He's currently under fire for trying to claim a concept that he did not create as his own, even though it was repopularized by a black woman that he did not give credit to, but is very well aware of because he stole a video verbatim. Jackie made a video using Patrick's blush, and everybody questioned the timing because he's currently under fire. The speculation is that maybe she made this video in advance because she was contracted, but the video doesn't have an ad disclosure. And if Jackie was contracted, it was for payment because she's Jackie Aina. She's not going to work for free. But maybe she forgot to put the ad disclosure, even though she could have went back and done that, and then she wouldn't have had to make the second video. So it tells us it's probably PR. But again, Jackie doesn't need PR for the sake of exposure like most influencers coming up do. So she probably wasn't contracted to the PR, which makes it a personal choice. And that's where the problem lies. People were incorrectly stating in Jackie's comments that Juvia's Place is the creator of the transitional blush, which is just not true. And it's understandable that Jackie would not want to see anything involving Juvia's Place because they did say deplorable things about her and then platform the fucking racist Jeffree Star, who also said racist shit about her. So her not coming to the defense of somebody that does work with a brand that has mistreated her does make sense to me. But what doesn't make sense to me is saying Patrick's cool. What the fuck is cool about genocide? And then later on saying I would never platform a brand that categorically mistreats black women, even though Patrick has categorically mistreated a black woman. That's what he's under fire for, and previously was under fire for not paying black creatives that he exploited for labor. So while yes, Jackie is a pioneer as a marginalized black woman pushing through an industry that is very hard for marginalized black people and marginalized people as a whole to thrive in, it is not misogyny because the focus is more so on Jackie instead of Patrick. It's because a non-black person, especially a non-black man, fucking over black people is never as shocking as a black woman fucking over black people in favor of a person that doesn't fuck with black people. That's crazy behavior. But I'm gonna tell you what pissed me smooth the fuck off when you got in the comment section, doubled down and said that being pro-black has never been profitable. Who buys your candles, Jackie? Who buys your perfume? What demographic makes up the majority of your analytics that keeps you monetized, Jackie? The last 17 years, black women, because that's who the fuck you were making content for. Black gay men, black non-binary people, and if you didn't know, which I know you do, black children, because I want to understand what strain of delusion ran through your bloodstream when you prepped your fingers to type my content doesn't appeal to children. At your big ripe ass age of almost fucking 40, yes, we watched you as children. I was 12 watching you. Commenter was so respectful in their approach, and you were so mean and nasty, and it's because you're a mean girl. You live in the comments because that's the place where you get to validate your ego. You block everybody that doesn't agree with you, and you feed off the people that do. Because I watched you, and I have the screenshots of you liking and interacting with nasty, mean, and hateful comments about Jamila and about Mecca, because you waited months until everybody else was dogpiling on Jamila to add to the conversation. You didn't name drop her because you didn't want to be accountable for the dogpiling, but also because you were trying to flex your status to seem as if you were so above her you didn't know her name, but you held on to it long enough to make a 2-minute plus video about it. Please stop fucking playing. You are the mean girl everybody thinks you are, and it's okay to be a bitch, but it would be better if you owned up to it.
Erased. And that's why I think that Jackie spent her entire response video talking about Juvia's Place, because I really do think that that is actually what this is about. I think what this is actually about is the fact that I think Jackie probably feels undermined by Esther. And this is just my speculation, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I do not know. These are no facts. I don't know anything, okay? I'm not no insider. But I have a feeling that Jackie probably feels pretty undermined by Esther because Esther has used her big platform to endorse Juvia's Place, and it, as such, has put them blush duos back on the map because people were using their blush duos to do Painted by Esther's like viral blush look. And if you look at it too, it's kind of a similar situation in that, you know, Jackie's aligning herself with Patrick Ta, who is doing something against, who has done multiple things against other Black creators. It's kind of a similar way that she aligned herself with Two-Face back in the day, even though they were basically making a mockery of Black Lives Matter with that little Rich Lives Matter cake, you know? Do you kind of see the parallels there? It's kind of the same dynamic. I honestly think that Jackie reviewed those blushes in the midst of the Painted by Esther controversy as a way of undermining Esther. That's my honest opinion. I think it was in efforts to undermine Esther, but and in a different time in 2017 and 2018, that probably would have worked. But Jackie doesn't have the same structural power that she had back then, and I think that what's happened is that whole thing is kind of blown up in her face. So watch her over many years use the power that came with that position to undermine other people. Sometimes the people who will fight hardest to get to a table are the people who are the most committed to controlling who else gets a seat at that table, okay? It's just a pattern, okay? And I think that that's what is happening here, right? I think that this is about, ultimately, I think this whole Painted by Esther thing and this whole like endorsement of undermining her by endorsing Patrick Ta, even though what Patrick Ta did was pretty awful, is objectively, I would argue was objectively wrong. I think it's a similar thing. I think that it was her trying to use whatever structural power she has left to undermine Painted by Esther. But at the end of the day, people who are older, and we talk about this in terms of Taylor Swift, we talk about this in terms of a lot of people, the old guard never gets anywhere by trying to undermine the new guard. That always blows up in old guard's face, you know? And I think that that's exactly what is exactly what's happening to Jackie right now. And I think that the tension between Jackie and Esther is all rooted in Esther's endorsement of Juvia's Place, because in that sense, Esther is kind of undoing the damage that Jackie had done to that brand. And I imagine that is yet another sign of Jackie's waning influence, which is probably something that she does not like. But that's just my opinion, allegedly for her. I just wish we could all just get along and not be such crabs in the barrel, right? But you know, I don't know. This whole situation has been kind of disappointing to me. I wish that, quite frankly, that Jackie would have done better, okay? And not give in to her more base impulses of perhaps jealousy, and old resentments. But you know, neither here nor there. Go support Painted by Esther. She's a pioneer in the field. And that's what I got to say. The gray area is where the truth lives.
As per usual, when something gets as big as this, people are like diverting from the nucleus and not realizing what the main issue is. Tony has made it clear that she was not aware of the fact that Patrick Ta was trying to trademark transition blush when she made this video. Obviously, I'm not too sure Jackie Aina can say the same, because when she has had the chance to say so, she hasn't. But I don't think it's fair to dogpile on somebody for just using the product. At the end of the day, the product was sent to them, they've used it,